The Pirates were the bottom side, but Chelsea made sure they stayed there. I must apologise, it's Paige Hatherill who's bowling from the far end. Sincere apologies to Paige, Chelsea and all who sail with them. Bit of a slap from Duncan there, and she wrings the hand as the vibrations from the miss-hit go back through the body. Hatherill's best bowling in this series, 2 for 23 against the Marlins, so again, someone who can produce against the big sides is a great asset. And Duncan unable to find the gaps at this stage. Good hit from Duncan, missed time, good intent from Duncan I should say. As Staines fires in the throw to the keeper Stumer from backward square. So there's a deep third and a deep long on for Hatherill, bowling to Fuller. Now Fuller has become one of the stars of this tournament in the Kings revival. They didn't start very well. We saw them twice on the opening day. The last day and a half, however, my goodness, whoosh. It's a well-timed start from Fuller. We'll take the single down to long on, feeling the middle of the bat early. It's the very first game the Kings lost to the Pirates, who ended up being on the bottom of the table. They then had an unconvincing win over the Rockets. As Hatherill strays wide, and given the reaction of Kira Smith, it clearly looked like a very good ball from third. They then lost to the Magic early on Tuesday, and it looked like the Kings would be comfortably entrenched in the final four, in the bottom four. Duncan just not able to attack so far, trying hard. And then Tuesday afternoon they had a 9-wicket win over the Dingoes as Hatherill completes her over with 47 balls remaining. Carly Fuller hit 69 not out of 44 balls. And then yesterday here on the outer fields at Redlands Cricket Club, they had an 8-wicket win over the Power, who remember in their previous match had skittled the Marlins for 76. That was with 23 balls remaining. Fuller again, 52 off 30. Staines bowls a good line. Lucinda Burke, 73 not out of 44 against the Power. You would think that Burke would be batting at number 3 today. Staines continues from the clubhouse end. Hatherill from the railway end. Lofted, caught! Caught at mid-wicket. Sienna Ginger in short at mid-wicket. Staines has been getting some turn. And the massive, massive, massive wicket of Carly Fuller has been taken by the Magic. The Kings are not a one-player side, don't get me wrong. But Carly Fuller, last 3 innings of 69 off 44, 52 off 30 and 31 off 16, departs for a low score in the semi-final. As Eden Colan comes to the wicket. This is a definite and deliberate rejig of the batting order from Kings coach Ash Renoff. Premiership coach with the Sunshine Coast last year. Has a few players from that side in his squad. One of them is Matty Duncan, who's out opening the batting at the moment. But Tara Staines from that side made the early breakthrough as one of Valley's keeping options, one of the Kings' keeping options, Eden Colan, to face the informed Staines. Fired, uncomfortably played round the corner from Colan, but into the gap. Hatherell chasing, she has got it. And a beautiful return. Good work from Paige Hatherell. As Colan gets off the mark. In this side, Elise Hart's been the other keeper. Who keeps for UQ. And again, Colan getting tied up a little. Staines varies between putting it outside off and tempting and firing it into the body to cramp for room. One ball remaining for Staines. The Magic in control. And beats the bat to finish off. Truly great bowling from Tara Staines. The Magic on top early. And the score here from Peter Burge Oval is that Ash Renoff has completed his first lap of the oval. Lofted shot from Duncan. It falls safely, but not by much, maybe 3 or 4 metres to the left. The fielder charging in, who was Townsville's Grace Abdi, was very impressive in the field yesterday in the 2 matches we saw here on the live stream. So Hatherell very much on top, and the pressure from Staines at the other end. It's been a good power play for the Magic, not made any worse by that delivery. Bit wider, and a bit of a fumble. One of the first bad ball of the innings from the Magic. They can cope with those. And the umpire either hasn't received or hasn't seen a signal from the scorers as he plays his role in the Easter Passion Plate. Nice movement from Hatherell. Slapped over the top from Duncan. Finally was able to free her arms. But again, terrific fielding from Abdi straight. A perfectly straight throw back to Hatherell. Has looked good in all 3 disciplines this week, Grace Abdi. Skied. Ginger underneath it. And it swirled away from her. There was plenty of spin on the ball because it was mishit. Ginger was in position and then suddenly realised it was going to swing in front of her. So she'll be disappointed, but she's already got 1 catch in this innings and took one of the catches of the tournament here yesterday on the boundary. Beats the edge of Colan. So good over from Hasrell. Unlucky not to have a wicket, with no disrespect to Sienna Ginger. But more chances to be created for the Moreton Magic. So the first power play over. And probably fair to say that the Magic won it, as the umpire signals the end of the power play, as is required. Just hit to mid-wicket as Staines really yet to bowl a loose delivery. Well dabbed. Clever shot from Duncan.
Good running, Maddie. Go.
Duncan does well. It was a good throw from the outfield. Zaliso Kane, one of the youngest players in this squad, did well in the outfield. Plays for Valley's played a lot of Paul Pink Shield. Just popped. As I say, it's been very true bounce on this Peterborough Oval pitch the last couple of days. That one definitely popped a little, but possibly the result of work on the ball from Staines. Duncan composing herself. Oh, dropped. It was a miss hit. It went to Haswell at square leg, just burst through the hands. Certainly didn't come at the speed that any fielder would expect in that position. And so 2 drops in the last 2 over for the Magic, but the positive sign for them is they're creating chances. The positive sign for the Kings is that Duncan is closer to finding the middle of the bat more regularly. Again, Staines getting good bounce. Looked to be down leg. Whatever the umpire thought, it certainly wasn't requiring a raising of the digit. Staines has begun well. 3 quality overs to begin. So Colin on strike. Remains to be seen whether Shear or Elise Hart will take the gloves afterwards, as I say, but it's not what the Kings are thinking about right now. Haswell with plenty of shoulder. That's a good pull shot from Colin. Fielder converging. Pulled up just inside the boundary. And good work from Tara Staines in the middle of a bowling spell, but putting the big ones there to make sure there wasn't a boundary. So the news here, if you just joined us, is that the Kings captain, Carly Fuller, was dismissed in the second over. Early. Wide ball, just every now and then, Haswell drops his shoulder and pushes it wide, but usually gets it back together fairly quickly. Magic on top early. Pulled, skied, over the infield. Although you've got to... Sienna Ginger was chasing it, and she's proven herself to be one of the best fielders and catchers in this tournament, despite putting one down off Haswell's last over. Hatherell on top early. Outside off. Duncan watching, and I think if you're given promotion up the order, you don't get the luxury of not chasing wide deliveries. It has to be very wide before you say, no, I'll just leave that in the hands of the umpire. Certainly wider than that. Lofted, just lands in front of mid-off. Sophie Martin did the right thing by attacking it, and in the end, the one run that was going to be conceded anyway is all that is conceded. Genuinely beating the outside edge. As Coleman went for the big shot. Apologies for the delay in setting up, although you've probably been enjoying the slightly quieter commentary, but I am on the live chat now, so if you're watching YouTube and would like to send encouragement to the players or correct a pronunciation, I'm all ears. Well pushed. Barclay is down. As in down to field the ball. She's not down permanently. You can't put Jess Barclay down. Good over from Hatherell. It's been very tight early by the Moreton Magic. Zash Renoff runs onto the field. Northern Kings coach. I must confess I don't know what the rule is in terms of coaches running onto the field. It is an under-19 tournament, so I'd be surprised if there wasn't some provision. Although up to 4 overage players allowed. Several of the clubs for perfectly good cricketing reasons. Some of their trailblazers are aged well below 19. But if they're the players who can provide experience and guidance to the other players, why not make them a trailblazer? So Staines will bowl out from this clubhouse end, as has been her custom. Mark Harris using it that way. Wide ball, attempting to go through quicker and just getting it stuck in the hand a little. Loose ball nearly produced a wicket. Haswell at square leg.
We'll get one in the middle soon, mate. Keep going.
Tucked Duncan up for room. Duncan good enough to get it away. And some energetic fielding from Sophie Martin. Still not everyone pushed back. There's a deep long on, a deep mid wicket, deep cover. Duncan again. May have heard the Kings coach Ash Renoff before. Just encouraging Duncan, keep going, you'll find the middle soon. I've had coaches yell that at me, I never did find the middle. Pull shot as Staines dropped short. Hatherell, good shy at the stumps, well taken by Stumer. So the Kings attacking with the running and the Magic attacking in the field. In my experience, the best cricket is when both teams are going at each other, not just sitting back. Into the onside. At the end of the over, Magic still on top. Apologies as I'll just attend to a technical issue.
Keep going, good job.
Okay, our plan is for this not to happen. If we lose vision shortly, firstly I apologise, and secondly, we'll be working on it straight away because this is a semi-final. We don't want to miss a thing. Hasler, a quick run up, slower ball, appeal, down leg. Again, missed timing from Colin. Duncan and Colin just haven't found their rhythm so far. And Lucinda Burke appears to be being held back, maybe for the second 10 overs of the innings, not sure. There are different reasons you might do that. Take someone out of the power play overs and play them afterwards. Lofted from Duncan. Good fielding by O'Kane. In fact, I've misidentified there. That was Abdi. Pushed by Colin to cover. Lofted, it'll go over the infield. Be picked up by the sweeper. But the Kings batters are definitely starting to get their rhythm. Nothing immaculately timed yet, but the ball is heading closer towards the centre of the bat, if that makes any sense. Which is usually the last thing I say before I play in a miss. So you'd still say the Magic on top. Now, from my perspective, there do seem to be some problems with the app for tracking this game. If you're on the live chat and maybe having similar problems, you're welcome to comment. And thank you for the information from Chanel Ginger, who says she believes Lucy, as in Lucinda Burke, isn't playing this match. Which is a shame for the Kings. The Magic won't mind. The first bowling change, Laura Shiver, left arm wrist spinner, on from the clubhouse end, bowled from the other end yesterday. Yes, if you're trying to follow this game on the Brisbane Premier League app, I'd be keen to know your experience because it does look like there's some problems. Shiver. And you'll get used to that. It will look like she's about to bowl a rank full toss and then the overspin will kick in. It plays Catherine Raymond Shield, that is first grade for University of Queensland. Can take wickets rapidly. Hit over cover, Abdi's on the boundary, just the single. Very useful fielder to have on the boundary is Grace Abdi. Bowled some good medium pace yesterday and looked handy with the bat as well. good future in store, one would suggest. Oh! Technically a drop at mid-wicket. I think it's Ginger. But the amount of ground she covered to get in a position to drop it was impressive. So, in the most technical sense, a second drop catch this innings for Sienna Ginger, but let's not hold that one against her. Colin on strike, Duncan with a life. Good length, not taken by Stumer, indecision among the batters. But Shiver must be encouraged by this start. And Kiana, I don't know why Lucy isn't playing. I'd be happy for an explanation if anyone has one. Mistimed pull, and this one rolls to Ginger at mid-wicket. Definitely hope you're enjoying this under-19 women's tournament, Mazda Brisbane Premier League. Drew the batter out of the crease. And Jess Bradley showed yesterday she does like to have the short cover and short mid-wicket, so she's got herself and Ginger there. Rather than concede a single to the circle, it's a dot ball. Good start from Shiver. So Duncan on strike, no further breakthroughs for the Magic apart from the wicket of Fuller. But not really pulling away either. Loose bowling, loose shot as Kira Smith enters the attack for the first time today from the railway end. And a plover lands on the boundary fence to my right. They have been known to be vicious. This is why the grandstand's built on the western side of the ground, because if you're on the eastern side, that's plover country and no human shall enter safely. Excellent slower ball. Kira Smith completely outwitted, I believe it was Colin on that occasion. Gets a bit of sympathy from Chelsea Baker coming through. But Kira Smith produced the slower ball. And I apologise, it was Maddie Duncan getting out on that occasion. Now the umpire's just called Duncan back. Oh, sorry, just Duncan had clearly given something to the umpire to look after and it's now been collected. But Kira Smith, the slower ball quality at this tournament has generally been good. A lot of them have gone down leg side, sometimes wide the other side. But that one was a slower ball, middle stump, Yorker. You can't do too much better. So the experiment with Duncan at the top of the order is moderately successful. As one of the stars for the Northern Kings arrives at the crease, Clodagh Ryle. Got a 50 off 39 balls against the Pirates earlier in the week. Probably more known as a bowler. Also scored a good 30 later in the day for the Kings. Basically, she scored 90 runs on television. Or the live stream at any rate. Doesn't mind the camera. And also a left-hander. One fielder deep on the leg side. That's a deep mid-wicket. There's a deep third. And a deep cover. Smith immediately goes around the wicket. You'll see the sight screens here are very wide, so they never need to be moved, no matter which pitch is being used. And covered in black. Another failure to adjust. That's a learned skill, being able to just readjust your line. You see that in men's international cricket a lot of the time when the right-hand, left-hand combination is on and the bowlers don't readjust in time. Adjusted there. Ryle got onto it, played a pull shot. And there was probably a run there, but there was indecision between Ryle and Colin. Ryle, captain of the Sunshine Coast side last season, but has moved to Ipswich this year. Played for Wynnum Manly before, and I think the Gold Coast before that, not sure. Educated edge from Ryle. And down to third, where it's fielded well from Chelsea Baker, who we'll probably see with the ball later. And thank you for Renee for pointing out that I had Page bowling for an over longer than possible. So forgive me, with the technical problems, I must confess my focus was split, so I apologise for that. Wide outside off, Smith conceding a wide. And thank you, Chanel, for saying that it's possible that Lucy's at trials for Queensland Rugby Sevens, which is a sport I was involved with way back in 19... No. Many great sports out there. Be good at all of them if you can. Pull shot just to the left of short fine leg, where Eliza Barnett is able to chase. The throw is a bit of a keeper killer, but Stumer does well. But no, thank you for all the information. Always happy to be corrected. Pronunciation, factual errors, getting batters mixed up. The aim is not to make them in the first place, but I'd rather be corrected than let the error hang. Another good slower ball, hits Ryle on the pad outside leg. And the Magic show wonderful restraint in not going for the silly appeal. Good over from Smith. As the Kings haven't timed many. There haven't been a lot of authoritative shots through this innings. As Laura Shiver will continue. Two for 40. Shiver looking to get in on the action. Lofted, but safe. One bounce into the deep where Smith with a relaxed, assured throw. Good footwork from Ryle to meet that one and charging through for the single. Throw from Haverhill and lands. Well, the length was good, but it was a bit off to the left and Stumer had to reach. The left-hand, right-hand combination with the batting, just making it a little bit difficult for Shiver, but she generally adjusts well. Good cover drive. Doesn't quite have everything on it, so Baker will have lots of time to race around and 2 runs. But a bit more authority in that shot from Eden Colin. Lofted, it'll fall short of Baker, but again good fielding. Had a go at the stumps, gave Shiver a little bit of problems. There's a little bit of a problem. It bounced in front of her, but again recovered well. Ryle edged, there's a short third, there won't be a run. I don't mind that the Magic are using underarm throws to return it to the keeper and bowler to keep down overthrows, but they're not always landing at the target. full toss which Ryle keeps down. But the lack of power means that Bradley fields easily at mid-wicket. End of the over. And still in the 40s. They haven't been able to break away the Kings. And the Magic won't be too disappointed with what's happening at the moment. The batters taking their time. The field was well in place. One thing the Australian team started to do many years ago, where Adam Gilchrist as the keeper would jog through, and when he was in position, the field had to be in place. If you were late, there were consequences afterwards from your own team. The Magic have been making good pace through the overs. Skied. Caught. Lofted up. O'Kane was very calm at point. And the third wicket is down. It was a well-directed delivery at off stump. The shot was a little bit across the line from Colin. And she has to depart. As Abdi, with her first delivery, strikes. Hit the length straight away, Grace Abdi. She did a similar thing yesterday. Another bowler who's generally very good at adjusting to the left and right-handers. As Ella Fernley is the new bat. A right-hander, more noted as a bowler. Had an excellent spell of 1 for 15 off 4 overs when these two teams met earlier in the week. So Ryle remains, which means there's still a left-hander and right-hander at the pitch. And Grace Abdi straight into the attack. And straight into the wickets column. Well directed. Gets a bit of in-swing, does Abdi. So the Kings and Magic met on Tuesday at one of the outer fields. The Magic won by 28 runs. And most of the total was set by Sienna Ginger, 70 not out off 52 balls. Outside off but inside the wide line. Fernley. Just looks at the umpire to see if anything was forthcoming. Nothing was, so she got on with it. And thank you, Pat. I'll get to your comment in a moment. Get a little wider, but Abdi's length is good. Yes, thank you, Pat, for pointing out the Queensland Under-17 Rugby Sevens Carnival starts tomorrow in Mackay. So good luck to everyone there. Of course, plenty of rewards if you can make the Australian Rugby Sevens team at the moment, with it now being an Olympic sport. No medal this year for the Wallaroos, but they're always in the mix. And finally strained down leg side, Abdi, as she just tried to correct from the previous few deliveries wide outside off. Got it a little wrong. Very comfortable catch earlier in the over from Elise O'Kane, one of the younger players in this Magic side. A bit of outswing from Abdi. The ability to move it both ways. If Abdi can develop that and make it a commandable skill, and doing very nicely for herself. It's actually very well placed. She may get 4 for this. There's some good work from Baker on the boundary. And a good throw. And so Fernley's able to get back for 2. Good over from Abdi. Generally well controlled. And well done from Fernley. Had to reach a long way. Realised she wasn't going to get a wide. It wasn't that wide. and put it in the gap past the infield and through to the outfield. It's pretty much what you want to do in these overs. Shiver to continue. She'll have the left-handed Ryle on strike. The ring of three is currently on the offside. I'm not sure if that's because they haven't realised there's a left-hander. In fact, there's not a ring of three. The field is being changed over. Yes, so the point is coming up to a regulation. There's a deep mid-wicket, a deep cover. Everyone else in or on the circle. Ryle waited for that delivery and played a pull shot, which just rolled really to Hasrell at mid-on. Top edge, just out of reach for Stumer. She elected not to go for it. Not even sure it was a top edge, might have been a top glove. But Ryle gets one. It was into enough space to turn over the strike. So Shiver to Fernley to face her first delivery at the far end. Still a deep cover. Now two on the leg side. Deep mid-wicket, deep square leg. Again, a good length from Shiver. It's played behind square in the offside. And only one, thanks to some very slick fielding from O'Kane, who's really throwing herself around in the field. She bowled yesterday, O'Kane, as well, and when she gets the ball full and swinging away, looks dangerous. Don't know if she'll get a run today. Lofted, this could be caught as well. Just through the hands of Hasrell. She was retreating, and a good throw nearly created a run-out chance. Then the ball was flicked back to the stumps, ends up back with Hasrell. This is the worst game of table tennis I've ever seen. Because Hasrell was retreating. I think was trying to get back so she could catch it in front of the eyes and never got there, and then let it go through the hands above the head. I say let it, it went through the hands above the head. Well, slapped towards Hasrell again, falls well short. And in fact, Bradley's near enough to intercept it before it gets anywhere near Hasrell. Shiver to Fernley. Good battle. Moved to off, hooked it over the leg. It's going to fall short of deep square leg, but it's well fielded because it did spin off the turf. And then a beautiful throw. So good over from Shiver, well controlled. Some good work on the boundary as well from Tara Staines. Grace Abdi to continue. For those interested, the magpie patrolling the sight screen has gone. So you can now attack the sight screen as much as you like. Grace Abdi not interested in that. She wants to attack the stumps of Ella Fernley. Ella Fernley possibly wants to attack the boundary. 3 down. I don't think Fernley was ever behind that. Was trying to glide it to the right of the keeper and Stumer. But Ava Spencer is on the third boundary, deep third boundary. Deep cover, no deep mid-wicket. Good work from Fernley, just a misfield. Had that been picked up cleanly by O'Kane, which she often does, could have been a chance at the keeper's end. But good attacking running. And Ryle is on strike. Big hit from Ryle. It's through cover. It's past Ginger, but Ginger is so quick. And then a good throw on the bounce into the bowler's end. Abdi has a shy. I think she may have got the bails, actually. Yeah, it needs to be replaced now. So Abdi keeping it tight. Ryle and Fernley, though. They do want to keep this scoreboard ticking over. The chance to accelerate may come. Again, it's really only one ball and over that Abdi misdirects. All in all, she's generally pretty controlled. With Ryle only 18, but she's been there, done that. Good cut, got it in front of point. Ginger's herring after it again. And she gets there before the boundary. I'm not sure that every fielder in this competition would have. Which is only to tell you exactly how quick she is across the turf, Sienna Ginger. And thankfully Bradley says, actually Sienna, you just stay there, because with Abdi bowling her line outside off, a deep point's actually not a bad idea. Thanks for heading there ahead of time. Again, bit of movement back in. And it will this time just trickle out to deep points. And Ginger relies on her reputation to make the batters just amble a single. For the deep fielders, as Ginger comes in the square leg, there's a deep third. It's over Spencer. Shiver's out at the deep cover boundary. Maybe a deep mid-off, just not quite sure how deep that fielder is. Fernley gets that glide away. It's to the right of Spencer, but she fields very comfortably and calmly in just the one run. It's been a very controlled performance in the field by the Magic, and they are not allowing the Kings to get away at all. Now, I must confess I don't have access to a scoreboard here at this time, but you have it on your screen, so you will actually have more information than I do at the moment, which in one sense is exactly how it should be. The live chat is open, and even if I'm not around to help you to get your name on the live stream, which I enjoy doing, you're welcome to chat amongst yourselves, share information. Shiver, that is a full toss. It'll go to Spencer's right. She fields well. Pops the right hand up, go gadget arm, and was able to keep it to a single. Shiver, a little bit full that time, but she generally does get that drop. Long on back. And Ryle went for a cross-bat shot from way outside off stump. While I acknowledge what she was trying to do, it didn't work. In the air, Hasrell looks to have this covered, and she does. And a gentle throw back to Shiver at the bowler's end. So 1 to Ryle. At last check, they were 3 for 54 off 13, so nothing that's going to scare the Magic at the moment. And the loss of Lucinda Burke, possibly to rugby union. Maybe a big loss for the Kings. Now, I was obscured by the umpire. There's a bit of laughter in the stands. I'm not sure whether Shiver was going for a mancade or warning. Lovely pull shot. But well fielded again, one-handed on the boundary. That was Staines, I believe. And again, cricket is a game played on all sorts of fields all around the world. They can be bumpy, they can be flat, whatever, but to see the performance of the fielders on a true, wonderful surface where they can just charge in, pick it up one-handed, it's a pleasure to watch. Ryle down the ground, mistimed, but she'll get a single down to Haverhill. The call comes from the stands to run the first one hard. And the team that did that best today so far has been the Marlins. They put a lot of pressure on the field in their innings. Not really come from the Kings so far. And that's out. It was a very full delivery. Shiver turns it back into the right-hander. Fernley went for a big shot, wasn't really watching where the bat was going in relation to the ball. And Shiver's got an LBW, and for a bowler who gets a lot of bounce, you need to pitch it full to get an LBW decision, and that's exactly what Shiver did. Clever bowling. She's always brave. Doesn't matter how badly she's hit Shiver. She will keep it up to the bat, always back her skills, and she's got a reward here. So the new batter is Brittany Staines. And yes, she is the sister of Tara Staines, who's on the boundary. And I wouldn't mind betting that Brittany hopes she stays there. Left-handed batter, Brittany Staines, so we have a high IQ partnership, that is two left-handers. As the bowling change made at the railway end, Eliza Barnett has been known to keep wicket, Eliza. At Wynnum Manly Redlands this year, I believe University of Queensland last year. Kira Metcalf, the coach at Wynnum Manly Redlands, a former international player for Ireland, now residing in Brisbane, now doing a lot of good for at least some of this generation of women's cricketers. So Ryle on strike, with Shiver striking with the final ball of her over. Lofted, it'll just clear Sophie Martin at mid-off. Didn't have enough on it to make it to the boundary, but two more to Ryle. Barnett shouldn't be discouraged. Pitched it up well, got a bit of movement, looks to have a bit of an outswinger on her. The deep fielders, it's a deep mid-wicket, a deep point, and a deep fine leg. Good work from Ryle, good footwork, just not able to beat Bradley at cover. Bradley, who started the season as captain of the Wynnum Manly Redlands Catherine Raymond Shield, first grade side. But today's her last cricket for a year because she's going in for shoulder reconstruction surgery, so I wish Jess all the best. Definitely hope she comes back stronger. Ryle into the leg side, just over the head of Ginger. And well fielded by Shiver on the boundary. Very well fielded by Shiver on the boundary, on the bounce to Barnett at the bowler's end. It's late in the innings and the Magic very well on top. 6 bowlers used. Ryle was trying to get that into the gap between the short third and the cover. Couldn't find it. There is a deep point in between those two, but you can at least get one out to Abdi, who's on the fence, or on the rope at any rate. Clodagh Ryle receiving encouragement from her teammates. Just backs away for a moment. Moved in, well clipped by Ryle. It may be into the gap. Spencer does well. She has patrolled this boundary particularly well in this innings, and a beautiful throw. Stumer did not move. Stood behind the stumps. Simply waited for the ball to land in the palms. Spencer, a young player, has played Paul Pink Shield, that's the under-15 competition. for the University of Queensland. Well played by Ryle, just backward of point. Because the under-15 women's competition here is called the Paul Pink Shield, as the over ends. Paul Pink was a first-grade player for Sandgate Redcliffe through much of the 90s. Left-hand, hard-hitting batter, crafty left-arm orthodox spinner, and a big advocate for women's cricket. I think he was a selector of the women's side at one point, and one of the reasons why Sandgate Redcliffe became a powerhouse of women's cricket with players like Kirsten Pike and Beth Mooney, as Paige Haverhill returns to the attack. My experience with Paul Pink is that one day during a tournament in which he was playing and I was managing, a bird got trapped inside the clubhouse at Sandgate Redcliffe as the power surge is taken. And Paul and I spent the best part of half an hour trying to guide this poor sparrow out of the clubhouse. And I was reminded of that this morning when I walked into the clubhouse here at Redlands, and there was a bird trapped inside the clubhouse again. But Paul Pink tragically killed in a car accident maybe 10 years ago, that lives on in the name of the under-15 women's competition here in Brisbane. Paige Haverhill from the northern clubhouse end. Beats the bowler but won't beat Shiver, who's adopted the hat in this blazing sunshine. It's the middle of the day. And Mad Dog's Englishman, and the commentator who's slightly mad dog and part English, sit in the midday sun. So the power surge is on, Hasbrook's back, the two fielders out are both square of the wicket, deep mid-wicket, deep cover. That'll be 4, an unconvincing shot from Staines, but it flew over short third, outside the circle. And in the power surge, that's actually intelligent batting. Hazel probably guilty of being a little bit wide, but nothing wrong with the length. But the total's still very chaseable for the Magic, they will feel. King's not giving up. Closest to the body, and Bradley has herself in close on the leg side, but there was no equivalent in on the offside. Sienna Ginger racing in. She's asking the question of Bradley, should I stay in? And Bradley appears to have answered in the affirmative. Hasn't come in all the way, she's maybe 2/3 of the way back to the circle, is Ginger. Frees the arms, can play from Staines and hits it out to O'Kane on the boundary. I apologise, that's Tara Staines. So Clodagh Ryle just retaking her guard at the far end. That may be just a technique to take time, or maybe it's been a while since she's been there and thought, hang on, a little bit lost here. So Ryle to face Haverhill. And that's called wide. Again, it's just that one ball and over from Haverhill. Something that, for her sake, she'll probably eliminate with experience. Plays for the Sunshine Coast. 2 for 23 against the Marlins, who may be the Magic's opponents in the final, if the Magic qualify. Good position right now. And the overcorrection. It happens. So 2 wides for Haverhill in the power surge. She has been a good choice for her captain, Bradley, throughout the week. Ryle hit past Bradley at mid-wicket. Shiver's chasing hard. Now she's called for. That's good work from Shiver. She got the ball. She stopped the ball from going over the boundary, but she realised that she was still touching it. And the crowd gives warm applause, as they should. I can't say I know Laura Shiver, but from what I've observed of her on the field, that's typical of her. recognised that she was still in contact with the ball as she went over the rope. Having said that, great fielding, but also 4 to Ryle, batted well. Bradley back to the circle. Lofted into the offside. And again falls between the two rings of fielders. A little bit of indecisive running, but they get back well enough, although the throw was fired in. Very strong arm on Tara Staines, which she uses well in her off-spin bowling as well. Has a quicker ball that can surprise. Probably needs to disguise it a little bit better, but that will come with age. 16 years old, plenty to build on. Wonderful base. Not a bad over from Haverhill. 1 over remaining in the power surge, and again the two deep fielders, a square of the wicket. Shiver to your right, who will now be at deep square leg, or deep mid-wicket rather. As Eliza Barnett continue from the far end. Right arm medium fast. People here in Wave Riders shirts, eliminated from the tournament now, having lost the semi-final earlier today, but not disgraced by any means. None of the teams have been disgraced here. They've all played tremendous cricket at times. Everyone got a win. And the top team still lost 2. There wasn't a lot between first and last. It ended up being the Kings and the Pirates, and of course the Pirate beat the Kings in the very first match of the tournament. Quite even. Barnett tailed that back in towards Staines. Just a single, but Barnett bowling cleverly in the power play. Getting it outside off, getting the batters thinking about only hitting it that side, and then tailing it in. With Ryle's confident, high degree of difficulty. As Bradley rings the change, she brings the deep fielder, who is O'Kane, inside the circle at square and pushes long on back. And tucks Ryle for room, with Barnett swinging it back in. The shot I was about to suggest was to step outside to off and then hit with the swing over the leg side. But you've got to be confident, you've got to be precise, because even though you're hitting with the swing, it's in front of the stumps. High risk, but potentially high reward. She has played through the leg side, but it's along the ground, into the circle. And it's Ginger's pace to the ball that prevents any thought of a second. So Brittany Staines on strike. Beautiful. Beautiful bowling from Eliza Barnett. Basically cut Staines in half. And that outswing that Barnett is getting, it's basically hooping. And there are high-class batters who can play that kind of delivery, but it takes skill. Edged. This may go for 4, but it's a bit of a moral victory for Barnett. The chase is on from Haverhill. She does extremely well, and the arm is strong. Beautiful. It was only a matter of time, you felt. The line, length and swing of Barnett. It was tailing in towards those stumps all over. And she finally has her reward with the wicket of Staines. The new batter who is charging out to the wicket is the effervescent Holly Hogan. She batted well in the 2 games on the live stream on Monday. Played spin in particular very well, but didn't exactly look lost against pace. Scored 16 not out of 16 against the Rockets. at a tricky time in the match. The Kings ended up getting a bonus point from that one because they won with more than 4 overs to spare, 26 balls, but they only had 3 wickets in hand. And the Rockets really did put the wind up them. And so Barnett has finished the power surge with a wicket. The Magic defended beautifully. They're 5 down now. Not yet 100 on the board. So Sienna Ginger into the first time. While normally you'd advise against bringing your bowler into bowl their first over this late in the innings, Ginger is quite a reliable sort. Plays for Valleys in the Catherine Raymond Shield. And again, I urge you, the draw's on the Queensland cricket site, My Cricket. On a Sunday, either bring a lunch or support local cricket by just buying something from the canteen. Or at most grounds, there's usually a decent fish and chip shop nearby. If you ask me, I'll let you know where the good fish and chip shops are. At West, you just go back down Oxley Road a bit. Here, you go up to Wellington Point. I'll show you. Attempted pull shot. They've run what'll probably be a bye. I don't think it was wide enough to be called a wide, as Abdi ran across and did enough to prevent the overthrow. In fact, there was some bat on it, I apologise. So Ginger has none for 1. The right-handed Hogan is on strike. Bit of a challenge facing Sienna Ginger, but as I say, Hogan batted well earlier in the week. And the way that she charged to the wicket as Staines got out was very encouraging. She was keen. That swung out and cut in. The encouragement comes in saying great ball, Sienna. It was. I'm not sure anyone except maybe Sienna herself knows how great that was. Possibly Stumer had the best view of it. Steve Smith would have had trouble with that ball. A play and a miss. Hogan showing good intent. But against Sienna Ginger, maybe she was better just pushing that one into the offside. Although at this stage of an innings, you're going to get edged through to the keeper. Maybe a slash where it goes down to third man for a boundary is the better option. 2 fielders back close to the camera, long off and long on. Deep square leg, no one deep on the offside apart from the deep third. Fine leg comes up into the circle. Mid-wicket cover point. Hogan connects into the ground. They'll take a single. And the fielding is comfortable from O'Kane at point. Been impressed with the fielding of Elise O'Kane. If that's what Valley have in their Paul Pink Shield side, bodes well for the future. Ginger keeping it tight, bowling to Ryle. These two have had a few battles in first grade last couple of years. Good Yorker. And excellent fielding from Abdi, showing she's just as adept inside the circle as she is on the boundary. I hope you're enjoying the coverage of the Mazda Brisbane Premier League Under-19 Women's Competition. Second semi-final. Magic and Kings. It'll be byes. Ginger isn't quite sure how it missed. In fact, it's gone for 4 byes. A win for the bowler, but a win for the Kings on the scoreboard. That's the over, as you heard from Ash Renoff. It is the last over. Still not quite 100, 5 for 97. It's been excellent work from the Magic in this innings. They won't mind chasing 100. And the Kings will fancy themselves defending it. Carly Fuller and Clodagh Ryle bowl well. Lucinda Burke not available today. Ella Fernley's been tight all week. Maddie Duncan has had good pace from the Sunshine Coast side. Haven't seen Tasman Gandhi today, but I didn't get to see the teams earlier, but her off spin has been effective. Lucinda Burke's a big loss, but the Kings are not bereft of talent, not by any stretch. So 5 for 97, final over, second semi-final. Barnett's done well. Ginger, I think, got a little finger to that just to take a bit of heat off it. And the second is prevented by some good fielding by Kira Smith on the boundary. So for the left-handed Ryle, I was about to say deep fine leg, but she's coming across to deep third. It's a deep square leg, a deep mid-wicket. One of the staff here from the Brisbane Premier League is attracting the attention of the Plovers. Deep point. That stayed low. Good shot from Ryle, 4 runs. It stayed low, Ryle got onto it, didn't get all of it, but the placement behind square leg, there was no fine leg, and so once it beat O'Kane, that was 4. The 100 is up for the Kings. They've done well. And again, the umpire is going to keep signalling until he gets a signal from the scorers, as is right. My record for signalling leg byes before the scorers acknowledged me was a minute. And finally, there's no point signalling to the umpire while he's still watching the ball. You've got to wait for him to signal, then acknowledge. I'm Daniel Vales, that's my sermon. Barnett. Lofted by Ryle. Should be fielded on the boundary, and is. Shiver's done very well. Got a decent arm, was slightly on balance when off balance when she threw it, so took a couple of bounces to get back to Barnett. They're up to 103 as Clodagh Ryle throws the bat in the final over. Barnett, she's shown she can bowl that big hooping delivery back into the left-hander. If she's able to get one that doesn't hoop, could be a dot ball here. Well, it still swung, but it was more on-off than outside-off. Ryle tried to pull it to leg. As the mid-off goes back, that's Sophie Martin. She's been pushed back to the long-off boundary. There's a long on, deep mid-wicket, deep third, deep point. Five for 103. Nearly bowled. Perfect line from Barnett. Well, I guess not perfect, otherwise it would have knocked out the off stump, but close to it. As Ryle just lifted the head. The Northern Kings coaching staff let you know how many balls there are remaining, and it's the loneliest number. Lofted, that's a beautiful hit. She got all of that. She may have finished with a 6. She has. Perfect finish to the innings for Clodagh Ryle. And so the Kings will finish on 5 for 109. And they really need to give Clodagh Ryle a few hugs and thanks, handshakes when she gets back to the pavilion, because without her, the Kings would have a lot less to defend. But an excellent bowling performance from the Moreton Magic. They will have 110 to chase for a place in the final. They managed to do that against the Marlins on this field yesterday. They made heavy weather of it until the Jess Bradley show commenced. The scoreboard's on your screen. You'll see a lot of the top batters tried hard, but it was really Clodagh Ryle who was the one who was able to get the innings going. Thank you, Renee. I'm glad you're enjoying the coverage, and I agree, more games in future would be good, including the Catherine Raymond Shield. Let's get that not just on a live stream, but hopefully on KO in the future. I'll help you push for that. But at the change of innings, the Kings have scored 5 for 109. You'd probably rather be with the Magic than the Kings at the moment. But cricket is a wonderfully strange game, which is why we love it. We're going to take a break for about 10 minutes or so. We'll be back with the second semi-final of the Mazda Brisbane Premier League Under-19 Women's Competition.
I mean, it's starting to get a bit shady.
And that's what we did yesterday. Tom Healy came across, sorry, name dropping now, but he came across and just
help us.
So
I mean, I'm happy to leave that there, but what I'm saying is maybe we just bring the table on that side.
The problem is the microphone for the camera is on this side. So, and it seems to be, we have tried so many different kinds of microphones.
Should we just move it a metre?
I think so, just to bring me into the shade.
We don't need to get a bit of weather.
Exactly, yeah, right.
Put away there, didn't they? Yeah. Okay. So that's 226.
I'm so glad I've got the commentate while they're here because I felt I made a bit of a goose of myself back in January. Where it was going. So, oh, you're the commentator.
No. That's good. No, mate, look, I know you're good at what you do. You know, you love what you do, and it's very evident in what you do.
Cheers.
Oops.
Okay, so shivers, of course.
What we might do
That's fine.
Is you,
hi, everyone.
You do that. You take that, and I'll try to. Hold on, let me just move this stuff out of the way.
Of course, sorry.
And then we'll move. As you go, I'll move.
Okay. Actually, we'll... Oh, no, you're doing it. Be quiet, Daniel. And that's probably enough.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. You've done that? Thank you, Peter.
Check that out. Just make sure that works for you.
Yep. Just reset the camera.
Because I can just see you getting really red there.
Oh, I was, because I didn't have time to put sunscreen on again during the change.
Does that work for you?
Absolutely, it works for me. I'm just resetting the camera.
But just check your seat, because you've got to be comfortable.
This is exactly how it was yesterday. It's fine.
You sure?
So,
okay.
Yes.
So, can I buy you a drink? Are you right?
I've been going back and forth, and I've got my water. And while I'm working, I should probably only be drinking water.
Okay.
So
that's all right. Sounds good.
Good to see you.
Yeah, no, good to see you. You enjoying it? You've been doing really good. I listened to. I was listening.
We'll just move away from the mic, but yeah. Otherwise, it's sort of audio voyeuring.
Have people been fawning over you after that stuff yesterday?
No, I don't know.
Right, that's a shame. It got mentioned on the mic. There you go.
I did listen to that one.
Oh, good.
People, Emma.
Oh.
People kind of just expect me to do that. Yes. Thank you.
No.
It's just people expect me to do that.
Right, that's it. We put pressure on you and then you do it. That's how life works.
I went in the pool last night, that's it. Remember I told you?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Why do white people sit in the sun in summer, honestly? Oops. Sorry. Welcome back to Peter Burge Oval for the run chase. In this second semi-final of the Under-19 Women's Tournament at the Master Brisbane Premier League. Maddie Duncan of the Kings to open up from the clubhouse end. Beautiful outswinger to begin. So 5 for 109 is the final total. In fact, 5 for 110 has been called. Doesn't sound right, I will check that. Oh. Apologies for the camera movement just before that delivery. A cord was loose and needed to be corrected before we lost everything. But Duncan bowling well. She's been impressive this week. Magic slight favourites at this stage. That's lovely. Just lovely. So Taylor Stumer is in the number 10 shirt for the Magic. She kept wicket. Is currently standing at the non-striker's end. I realise I just have to lower the camera, so I'll do that for you right now. Hit away by Tara Staines. Okay, I think I've got the camera in the right position for you, but I'm no great shakes as a cameraman, so camera operator rather, so if you think I've got it wrong, don't be afraid to say so on the live chat. Duncan to continue. Whacked into the offside. I apologise for the stilted commentary. The camera is beeping at me, which usually means there's a cord loose. And the last thing I want, we can do without commentary, but it's a bit hard to do without vision, so let me make sure that everything's right so that you can enjoy this semi-final. Okay, there may be a quick loss of vision. Wide outside the off stump from Fernley. And again, big apologies for the camera movement, just trying to make sure you can see everything. Good ball from Haswell. Stuart electing not to play a shot and was aware enough of the laws to know that running would be a waste of time. Okay, let's watch some cricket. Got some glove on that. It's racing. The chase is good. And Duncan's able to pick that up maybe 2 metres inside the boundary and fire in a good throw. At 2 runs, that was good batting from Stuart. The All Sunshine Coast combination opening the batting for the Moreton Magic. Owned by the father of Michaela Wrigley, father and mother. More on that in a moment. Beautiful face of the bat from Stuart. It's Michaela Wrigley, the wicket keeper for the Gold Coast Wave Riders, who produced a magical stumping yesterday. Peter and Tam, her parents, are the owners of the Moreton Magic, who are very pleased with their under-19 women's team here this week. Thought about the shot. Good ball from Fernley, just that tempting line and a tempting length. And Stuart, to her credit, wasn't tempted. At the very least, successfully hid the fact that she was. Well guided, but fielded quite well by Abby Burrows. Tall, but only about 13 or 14. Plenty of youth in these sides. But with all that youth, and a bit of experience in the form of Carly Fuller and the regrettably absent today Lucinda Burke, they've been able to become minor premiers. First versus fourth, but not much between them. Top edged. It has fallen safely. But a good chase back from Eden Cole, and not with the gloves. It's Elise Hart with the keeper's gloves today. End of the over. You'd have to say that it was a good first over from Ella Fernley. And a very reliable bowler for the Kings this week. Played a similar role to that which Paige Hatherell has for the Magic. The bowling just above medium pace, but keeping it tight. A little bit of sideways movement. So Maddie Duncan to continue from this near end. Now settled back on the live chat. Feel free to send messages, talk to each other. Share recipes, whatever you like. Good ball from Duncan. That one didn't bounce. I'm suggesting it landed on the side of the ball rather than the seam. That seems to be the reason why you get any variable bounce at all on this very true Peterborough Oval pitch. Wellington Point, Redlands, east of Brisbane. For one moment, I thought that was coming through to take the leg bail. Staines moved a long way across to the off. And Duncan has the potential to bowl around the legs. Excellent wide interpretation from the umpire. They've been good with that through the week. That one didn't come back. Might have hit the seam and decked away. So it's 5 wides, unfortunately. That's a shame for Duncan. And when defending a low total, it's not really what you want to see as a fielding captain. But Fuller offering encouragement. I think she might have been suggesting that the arm dropped a bit with that delivery, which is usually the case. I'd love to speak to someone who knows what they're talking about. We don't see many classic side-on bowling actions in women's cricket, and I'm not sure whether that's to do with women's physiology or coaching or what the deal is. I'd love to know from someone informed. Beats the field. Fuller's in hot pursuit. The outfield is quick, so is Fuller. Just gets it inside. Superb work from the Kings and Gold Coast captain. Here comes the throw. Only maybe 3 or 4 metres in front of the stumps. Carly Fuller is an athlete, just in case that wasn't abundantly clear. Duncan gets as side on as anyone. At the professional level, Nicola Hancock, who played for the Heat last season, she does well to get side on as well. Leah Tahuhu from New Zealand. Elise Perry gets very side on. But Megan Shoots very front on. Most of the spinners are very front on. Delissa Cummins was always very front on. But Maddie Duncan's side on. Loved her to see. Bit of away movement there as well, which is typical of bowlers who get that nice side on action. So keeping it tight, the Magic not really able to thrash their way through this power play. You're going to have to earn this victory, which is how semi-finals should be played. I'm just called wide. That, from my angle, didn't seem as wide as some. So I think I should overrule someone who's situated 70 metres closer to the action than I am. That's how life works. Beautiful ball from Duncan. It will be a single. Hit a Charlotte Love at mid-off. The throw goes over the head, but there are 3 fielders backing up. So the end of the over. It's a fairly even start. The required run rate is 5.5. So none for 16 from the Magic is pretty much exactly on schedule from their perspective. And again, if you're looking at professional T20 cricket, they do look to hit over the top and try to score it 10 and over in the opening power play, but when your body's still developing, it's not really the way it goes. You often score more runs when the field is back. Fernley. Stayed low, but well played. Pulled into the gap by Stumer. It should beat Colin in the outfield, but it doesn't because she produces a wonderful diving save on the mid-wicket boundary. She must have run 40 metres to get there and then dive down with the left hand. And I don't believe she's a left-hander. So a couple of runs saved, 1 run saved. Stumer was able to complete 3. Staines on strike now. Open batting stance, left leg a long way out. Good slow ball, all called wide. Interesting. Okay. So 20 minutes to 1. Sun is overhead. It's not scorching hot. It's warm. It's very bright. So not absolutely perfect conditions for cricket. You want it to be slightly cooler, but pretty good. Certainly very good for batting. Nice and full. Good cover drive from Staines. It does ricochet off the cover fielder and then give mid-on, who had originally gone to her left to back up, mid-off rather, suddenly had to turn back to where she came from and chase it down the long off. 2 runs. Not timed. It just got squeezed out to Colin on the mid-wicket boundary.
Keep going, girls. Keep going. Stay up.
But the intent is there from Staines and Stearmer. They're not going to let this run chase stagnate. The Kings will try to frustrate that as best they can. Slower ball, just snuck inside the wide line. Lovely slow ball. Easy to pick, but not necessarily easy to play. Good work again from Fernley. This wasn't balanced. I ended up feeling it was the foot, possibly because she was just trying to do things a bit quickly. So end of the over. 4 overs gone. Power play over. We'll see the signal in a moment. And the choice is, do they keep Duncan on or make a change? And they've opted for the latter. So apologies for the interruptions. They do seem to be some more technical issues, which we're just trying to sort out. Coda Ryle was tossing up whether to go around the wicket, and it was given a very clear instruction from Ash Renouf not to, Renouf rather. So Ryle, no real pace, but plenty of control and subtle movement. The scoreboard's just catching up, so none for 24 at the end of the power play. The camera is beeping at me, so I will do my best to make sure we don't lose pictures, because this is a semi-final. Straight on line, straight away. Nice single pushed. The field has gone back. We have a long on. We have a deep cover, a deep third, deep mid-wicket. Tucked up for room. There will be some more camera movement. Apologies for this. change of pace from Ryle. Strongly hit from Staines. Kept threatening to run. Trying to put some pressure on Fuller. You have to put a fair bit more pressure on Carly Fuller than that. To force an error. Well directed. Pulled the length back as well, did Ryle. Peter Burge Oval, home ground of the Redlands Cricket Club. Marnus Labuschagne, the big name in the Redlands first grade side these days. And the first poor delivery from Ryle will be fielded on the boundary, so 2 wides to the total.
Work in here, come on. One will bring 2, go.
And Ash went off trying whatever he can to wrest this game back from the Magic. They're on top, but not away. Beautiful movement back into the right-hander from Ryle. Just gets the single as the fielding is assured at point. The opening partnership clicks along. Called wide, and it was being called wide before Tara Staines turned around to the umpire with her hands in a position suggesting that she wanted a wide. I'm not a fan of batters doing that, and it's a minor criticism, but I don't think batters should be saying to the umpire what they should be signalling. And so Ryle just got the hands on the knees, not quite sure what's going on at the moment in her mind. She's a good bowler. This won't get her down permanently. As I've said earlier today, this is the 5th consecutive day of cricket for most of these players. 4 of them have been in the Brisbane Premier League, and then the vast majority of them played cricket on Sunday in the Queensland Premier Cricket. Good slower ball outside off, and only a mistimed single to Charlotte Love at mid-off was the result. So Ryle gets through her over. The power play over. Actually not many runs off the over despite the sundries. So none for 30 off 5. The Magic at this stage, they need it's either 80 or 81 more. Apologies for not being able to confirm that for you. Although again, you'll probably have more information on your screen than I have on mine, so enjoy the power, use it responsibly. And the prize for winning this is a place in the final against the Coastal Marlins. Just a bit short and wide from Fernley, but will only concede the single to deep point. So 3 fielders deep on the leg side. There's a deep backward square, a deep mid-wicket, a long on. There's a deep cover. Can't see if mid-on is up or back. That'll be whacked to the long on. Not timed, which allows the chance of a second. The throw had to be perfect, and it was good. But good isn't quite perfect. I get 2. Attacking running from Staines and Stumer. Stumer benefiting on this occasion to the tune of 2. There's a lot of putting the hands on the knees from these players. They don't need to be discouraged. They're good players. Fernley is a good bowler. She's shown that repeatedly. But it's possibly just tiredness and maybe the desire to get to the final and seeing it slip away. And that's a genuine edge which will yield for In fact, it won't. That's superb work on the boundary. Tamsin Gandhi chased hard. And I was fooled there. I thought the outfield would just see that zip over the grass. It didn't. Stuma did well, got a couple. Total ticks over. That's whacked. It won't be... Okay, I have no idea what a 4 is because that has gone well to the right of the boundary sweeper at backward square leg and has zipped over the boundary for 4. So a loosish ball from Fernley there drew a genuine edge off the first ball. There was an element of guidance from Stuma, but it wasn't convincing and very nearly feathered it through to Hart. Fernley. Good ball. Oh, it's come off the toe of Stuma, that is. And they'll get one leg by because it's cleaned up by Duncan more or less in front of the camera. Still not entirely convinced the camera angle's right, so if you're having problems with it, or you're more than welcome to let me know how it is for you. A wide from Fernley. I think she's tired. And that is no disgrace whatsoever. They've all but played a test match. Sure, there have been breaks during the day, but cricketers do spend test cricketers do spend a lot of time sitting around. It's that sort of game. Part of why we love it. Good comeback from Fernley. It's well driven to cover, full of missed fields, but inadvertently kicks it further towards the boundary as a plover swoops on the outfielder. I'll identify that for you. I'm only laughing because it's not me. Spent much of my life ducking birds. At the end of the over, the Magic up to none for 43. They're in a very good position. And the Kings just unable to turn the tide at the moment. Clodagh Ryle is a good option. Fuller trusting her experienced bowler. The time to roll the dice will be soon, but if you've got a bowler like Clodagh Ryle in your side, you don't discard her after 1 over lightly. It was good fielding. Brittany Staines at point. Throwing to the end her sister was running to. Elected not to throw it at her head, which is wise. She does overstep occasionally, Clodagh Ryle. Not often. It's not a massive no-ball problem, but just every now and then, maybe striving for a bit of extra pace, charging it a bit harder. The front foot strays into forbidden territory. So concedes the free hit. Staines poised. Won't be 6, won't even be 4. In fact, it'll just be a single to Gandhi at long on. Which brings Stuma back on strike. 3 deep on the leg side, the usual suspects, deep square leg, deep mid-wicket, deep long on, which is fairly wide. It's a deep cover, and then third is back. Mid-off cover point, backward square leg. Pull shot. Into the deep for just 1. So Ryle's varying her lengths, varying her line. Goes wrong every now and then. There was the overstepping, of course. So a deep cover's gone back. Only 3 outside the circle now. Punched into the offside, was late to call through for the single. And Stuma was a little late to respond, but it was all very safe in the end. Ryle is bowling well, but the scoreboard ticks. Slower ball, clipped into the leg side. It'll go to the boundary sweeper. That was quite a lovely shot, really, from Stuma. Well timed, no excessive power, but just the right amount. And if the trajectory of this game continues, we'll have a Marlins Magic final. Good change of pace from Ryle. Attacked the outside edge, and Staines nearly presented her with it. So Ryle bowling well, but without success. The total, or the run chase rather, nearly half attained. And it will be Charlotte Love to take up the attack from the far end, replacing Fernley. Another bowler who's just a tick above medium pace. They don't really have the express option, the Kings. Fuller can chuck it through, but she bowls less and less with each passing year as her batting improves and her captaincy becomes more demanding in the best way. Lucy Burke not here today, but she can propel it through a little bit, but there's no real express pace in this side. Gandhi the main spin option. Brittany Staines can bowl some left arm wrist spin. Love a bit short, a bit wide. The missed field from Brittany Staines. Just a single. As the 50 partnership comes up. Opening stand of 50. It is a shame that we don't have the electronic scoreboard here today because the occasion warrants it. It may be at one of the other BPL finals. A brutal slap through the offside. It's beaten the boundary rider. And a strong 4 runs, which is acknowledged not only by the attending spectators today, but also by the automatic bell located at Wellington Point State High School to the left of your screen. For those outside Queensland, any school that ends here in State High School is purely a government-owned one. None for 54. Adjusted well to the pace, caused the misfield by the bowler. And Staines will get 1, as the run chase is now halved. That should be a no ball and is so cold. It's whacked away through mid-wicket. It's split the gap between the two boundary riders. A massive dive on the boundary. Does not appear to have worked. 10 points for the effort, but 5 runs plus a free hit to the score. It's quite spongy, the ground here, in a positive way. It's beautiful to walk on. It's a very sensory experience. And I hope the outfielder, who I haven't identified, apologies, had a good time diving on it. Well played. Into the gap again. And they'll run 2, taking on the arm of Tasman Gandhi from deep third. And again, there's not a lot of tension in this game. The Coastal Marlins are waiting just in front of the grandstand. They probably, well, they know who their likely final opponents are, but no chickens are being counted. Over the top, that's a lovely shot. will only get the one. It cleared the infield, but didn't really have a chance of clearing the outfield and was fielded by Holly Hogan on the cover boundary, who's tried hard in all three facets of the game this week and succeeded a lot of the time. So the final is scheduled to begin at 2 o'clock. A cut shot. It's beaten the infield, might beat the outfield as well. Battered through cover for 4. She's a brutal run scorer, Tara Staines, when she gets going, and she's going here today. I mentioned yesterday that she hadn't yet scored a 50 in the Catherine Raymond Shield. She's done that at lower levels, but not yet in the top grade. I was suggesting she was on track for one here. Then she got out. I'm pretty sure I can't be heard. And while we joke about the commentary curse, it's not actually real. So Fuller was about to make a bowling change. And she will stick with that decision, possibly in accordance with, or maybe despite, advice from beyond the boundary from coach Ash Renoff. Ash Renoff, who won premierships with the Sunshine Coast men's first grade side. So Brittany Staines, left arm wrist spin, bowling to Taylor Stumer, a clubmate. They're both clubmates at the crease at the moment. This is a gamble, but definitely one worth taking. Long on is back, mid wicket is back, square leg is back, cover, and third. First ball is pulled. It was short, bit of a long hop really, but will only concede the one as it went straight to short fine. Staines to Staines. Good delivery and respected by Big Sis. And I realise sisters hate being compared, but honestly, one's bowling to the other. What am I supposed to do? Down leg side again. Action replay, the first ball. Run out chance at the bowler's end. Probably needed a direct hit. So Stumer survives. The 2 balls she's received from Brittany Staines have both been well outside leg stump, and she's swept them directly to the fielder. A bit finer. She's got 4. A bit squarer. She might have 2. Wide ball. Bit of a chase on for Colin. She gets there. There will only be 2 wides when it could have been worse, but Colin was very swift. So 2 o'clock will be the final of the under-19 women's competition. Maybe a slight delay, but shouldn't be by much. Lofted to long on. Falls well short of Gandhi, who fields. She did actually misfield in the end, but Tara Staines wasn't looking for the second and possibly missed out there. So it hasn't been a controlled over from Brittany Staines so far, but wrist spinners often only need 1 ball. That'll be wide as well, and well kept by Elise Hart. Possibly wore it with the body more than the glove. Still. So 2 balls remaining. I'm not sure if that was edged or just bounced. The umpire will tell us. It's gone directly behind the keeper for 1. And the signal will be byes. As Hart concedes a sundry, mainly due to the flashing blade in front of her. And that'll be 4. Unfortunately for Brittany Staines, she never really found her length this over. Pitched it short. This one bounced high enough for Stuma to get underneath. And the boundary resulted. As the fielders switch, Burrows returns to the field. And Brittany Staines comes off, suggesting she may have just hurt herself. So the total's 79. No breakthroughs as yet for the Kings. No real scares for them either. No drop catches. Couple of throws that have gone towards stumps when the batters have still been making their ground. But it almost looks like the run out is the most likely source of a wicket at the moment. Maddie Duncan back into the attack before the match gets away from the Kings entirely. That's good captaincy from Fuller. Act now and avoid the rush. Fuller taking a time over a field. It's a deep field. There is no one in close. There are 5 out, deep third, deep backward square. Duncan into bowl. Short, oh! Nearly went to Fuller at cover. It was hit hard and it will be 4. She just hits the ball so hard, Tara Staines. Aaron Finch-like. Trying to think of a women's equivalent. Maybe someone like Rachel Priest. Just gives the ball a proper whack. Usually unconventional, but usually strong. Into cover, hesitated for the single. Fuller, good field, out! Fuller and Duncan combined well. Staines hit the shot and hesitated. Stuma quite correctly called her through. Fuller was onto it in a flash, threw the ball hard to Duncan. She took it cleanly, took the bails off. And it was a perfectly executed training exercise for Fuller and Duncan. So the first wicket is finally down. And the only question is whether it's all too late for the Northern Kings. But they've made the first breakthrough. And in any situation like this, you've got to keep believing. Sienna Ginger is new to the crease. Her previous innings against the Kings was 70 not out off 52 runs. 52 balls rather. Nothing like that will be required in this match. It is a wicket. Lots of love for Tara Staines. She departs again for 25. Same score as yesterday morning. And Ginger will be at the non-strikers end. Stuma's on 37. She's had the less spectacular shots for most of this innings, but she's turned the strike over very well. And her running between wickets has been aggressive in the best sense of the word. 1 for 83. Guided into gully. No need for a cheeky single when it goes straight to Abby Burrows. I'm told Burrows is from Nanango, so hello to anyone connected with Abby Burrows who's enjoying the cricket today. Skied. Oh, and the sun got right in the eyes of Elise Hart. And I think the wind blew it back onto her head as well. She had it judged and then suddenly found it was dropping onto her noggin. Very unfortunate for Elise Hart. There might have been some conversation there about whether the ball hit the helmet and penalty runs were required. I'm as certain as I can be from back here. The ball went nowhere near the helmet. Poor Elise Hart had an opportunity. It almost literally blew back in her face. Down leg side from Duncan, but that's going to happen with her from time to time because she gets that lovely outswinger. She's entitled to aim it towards leg stump and then let the swing do its work. When every now and then it'll go wrong, but it's a wicket-taking stock ball when she gets it right. Don't change too much, Maddie. Good ball to Ginger, and she recognised it as such. So Ginger, thanks to the efforts of her opening teammates, has the luxury of playing herself in. Good length ball from Duncan, and Ginger will get off the mark. Good fielding from, I believe, Fuller again. Crashed hard into the hands of Maddie Duncan. But a good over. Wicket from the run out and a dropped catch. The Kings demonstrating that while there's life, there's hope. Mazda Brisbane Premier League. Watching the fourth of 6 innings you'll see today as Tasman Gandhi. I've been calling her Tams, and every second time I say her name this week. That's wrong, I apologise. But Tasman Gandhi, right arm off spin from the clubhouse end. Good over from Duncan from the railway end. Fuller giving her time, taking her time rather. Umpire getting involved. Power surge available but not taken. Not really required at this stage. Possibly when Ginger plays herself in, maybe in 2 overs time. They'll say, right, now we strike. So Gandhi does give the ball plenty of air. She's got fielders back. There's a deep third still in place, possibly for the edge, just to make sure there's protection. There's deep cover. And then the usual suspects on the leg side. Deep square, deep mid-wicket, deep long on, wide. Pulled wide. I think the bowler's end umpire was just checking with square leg to see if it bounced twice, because no ball overrules wide in most circumstances. Some good encouragement for Gandhi. Score moves to 87. Online from Gandhi. Flicked to long on. Duncan charges in, makes sure that one is as many as they can even think about. So 88. In effect, 3 runs off the first ball. And that just seemed a little bit unenergetic from Gandhi. At her best, she can power through. Turned into a full toss, and that'll be picked up by the boundary rider. And Clodagh fires in. The Stuma completes 2. Total to 90. Into the offside again, the boundary rider will take it. There's no real pressure on the batters. Fuller hasn't brought anyone in close to make them think twice about the single. Full delivery, whacked, it may find the gap. Well fielded, knocked inside. Ryle will complete the throw, but the initial work was done by Fernley to knock the ball back inside the boundary, getting it on the bounce. But very full. whack to cover, and because it's fuller, they make sure they see if it's past it before they think about running. When it wasn't, they didn't. Stroked to cover by Ginger. Straight to Fuller. No run, end of the over. It's all very calm and procedural at the moment. The Kings haven't given up, but I'm just looking for signs of what they think might take a wicket. How do they disrupt this march to victory of the Moreton Magic? Bowling changes are one thing. It's good to throw the dice there. Giving Gandhi an over was the right thing to do. Spin can take wickets in these situations. But once you bring Gandhi on, how are you actually trying to create the wicket? You make a bowl one side and strangle and create frustration. Make the batters play across the line. Even now, with 5 on the boundary and 4 on the circle. It's all very same. Duncan, it's skied to cover. And again falls over the infield and before the outfield. So really well weighted from Stumer, who's up to 42. And on current evidence, the greatest danger to her getting to 50 might be reaching the target. Ginger's spending a fair bit of time hitting it to Fuller and thinking, no, I don't think I'll run on Carly Fuller's arm. This time push to Love. In fact, you could say the offside is full of Love. I won't do that again. Straightish didn't quite swing for Duncan, so Ginger was able to tickle it around the corner. There is 2 there. Ginger was awake to it. Made sure Stumer was called through. .98 on the board, the target is 111, 13 to get. And a fair few overs in which to get them. And they've taken a single to Holly Hogan, mainly because she's not Carly Fuller. And there is simply no pressure on the Magic batters. I think play is being held up. There are some fielders from the Magic practicing, so they think they're in the final, just beyond the point boundary. And a rare piece of non-footwork from Stumer. She just reached for that one. The dot ball was really all she could expect. So end of the over. 1 for 99, 12 runs remaining, 8 overs to go. There was a bonus point on offer, they'd be pretty well inking it in by now. I do think that in the semi-final, Gandhi will continue, and that's fine. But at this stage, it looks like they're just hoping for a catch in the outfield. They've taken the power surge. I guess the incentive at this point is the sooner they get off the field with the win, the Magic, the more time they have to prepare for the final. So it's not completely official yet, but the Marlins are in the final. And the Magic are almost in the final. It'll be an all-northern affair. Wide ball. Gandhi just again. That's her normal trajectory. There's nothing wrong with flighting it up. I suppose we're going to flight it, up's the usual word. But it is landing wide. Whacked. And Fuller's dropped it. And I think you could almost put that down to despondency. It's been a long week. And their heads are down, the Kings. Flicked out to mid-wicket. It will just trickle out. The 100 comes up. In fact, the 100 came up with the previous signal. Apologies. No ceremony was observed. 10 runs to get. Mid-on comes up. Duncan comes into the circle. Something. Dragged down, it's whacked. And just fell in front of Duncan. Wasn't the best delivery from Gandhi. It was a bit of a half-tracker. But Stewart didn't get onto it. Probably not enough runs remaining for Stewart to get a half-century. Ginger doesn't want to get out to a moon ball, so she just pats it back down the pitch to her clubmate, both from Valley. Flicked around the leg, that's into the gap for 4. There was a backward square leg and a forward square leg. And Ginger figured, well, that probably means there's no one at square leg. She was right. 5 runs to get. It's lofted, but well into the gap. It will go out to the boundary rider, who looks like Hogan. And just a single to Ginger to end the over. 4 runs to go. 1 for 107. And sadly, it looks like the Kings, mentally anyway, surrendered this match about 25 runs ago. But again, they have played some truly remarkable cricket this week, the Kings. Their win against the Rockets on Monday required a lot of heart, some good, strong batting from Clodagh Ryle. Well supported on that occasion by Holly Hogan. Carly Fuller, unfortunately not on the live stream, tore the competition apart over the last 2 days. 69 not out, 52 and 31. Coming off a combined total of 72, 88 balls. Absolute frenzy. Lucinda Burke doing well. She's a big loss today. The talent was here, but the Magic's bowling strangled the life out of the Kings' attacking bats. Getting Fuller early was key. It's Clodagh Ryle bowls to Sienna Ginger. Tapped. There's no one in close. And even though it's gone to Carly Fuller, it got there so slowly that Ginger got an easy single. And she moves to 14 off 15. Played her role to perfection since coming to the crease. Good shots, just turned away from the fielder. Should only be 1. No, it's gone through. They've run 2. And scores a level. And there are still 5 back on the fence. The Kings have surrendered. Stewart on strike. Whacked into the offside. It'll either go for a boundary or... Oh, well, they've got one. The second run won't count because the winning run's already been scored. So Stumer will be credited with 46. And the Moreton Magic are into the final with a 9-wicket victory over the Northern Kings. The winning run has been scored. And so ends a valiant tournament for the Northern Kings. They came from the clouds to finish first on the ladder. As I said earlier today, all 4 teams in the semi-finals had won 4 and lost 2. And remember that each team had one opponent that they didn't play, 8-team comp and only 6 games. So the tiebreakers were all but arbitrary. But the finalists have been set. It will be the Coastal Marlins and the Moreton Magic. That game will start in approximately half an hour. The Mazda Brisbane Premier League Under-19 women's competition will reach its conclusion with essentially an all Sunshine Coast affair, at the very least all north of Brisbane affair, starting in about 34 minutes from now. The run chase from the Magic was clinical. Their bowling performance was tight. The Northern Kings can be proud, but it's the Moreton Magic in the final. Darren 80, I completely agree. The Magic have been extremely impressive over the past couple of hours. Join me again about 33 minutes from now for what we hope will be a classic final. Look forward to your company then. Thank you.